Hello YouTube, it's Jake Weezer Godzilla here once again with the story of Godzilla Part 2. Now remember, in the last one we were talking about the baby Godzilla. Well, I find out he has two brains, one in his tail and one, obviously, in his head. So they plan to help Mechagodzilla by using this knowledge, and they want to kill Godzilla. So basically, Mechagodzilla is sent out, and because Rodan is attacking, so he fights Rodan, defeats him, Godzilla comes, and then he kills Godzilla, and then he kills Rodan, which Rodan conveniently lands on top of Godzilla, and then Godzilla awakens, more powerful than we've ever seen him before, and he fights Mechagodzilla, and kills him, blows him up. Yeah, just like he did to the original one. But remember how Mothra carried the Godzilla cells into space? Well, those cells morphed with space crystals, and that created a monster known as Space Godzilla. And he was pretty evil. It also introduces a new robot monster, just a robot, nothing special. His name is Mogira. And he does nothing special. And Mechagodzilla is destroying the town with those big space crystals that rise out of the ground. And there's a tower that's helping him. So Godzilla and Mogira destroy the tower. And then Godzilla uses his fire breath to blow apart Space Godzilla and kill him. And Mogira gets beat up pretty bad, but then that leads us into the next film. The Heisei series finale, Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Very powerful monster. Basically, Destroyer starts out in this small, microscopic form, but then gets bigger and more powerful as the film goes on, and before hitting his final stage, Destroyer fights Junior Godzilla, who's now almost like his father, Godzilla. And, well, Junior wins. But then Destroyer comes back out in his final form, kills Junior, and then Godzilla sees it, and Godzilla and Destroyer fight. So Godzilla ends up, I wouldn't say defeating Destroyer, but puts up a good fight. And, well, the army takes down Destroyer, and Godzilla, since he's almost at the end, he's gonna explode and destroy the whole world. They, freeze him up, basically, so he won't, destroy the whole world. And then that is the death of Godzilla. So, that's it for the Heisei series. And that leads us into the final Millennium series. Now, in between the two series, in 1998, they created a terrible Godzilla movie. And it was released in America. Big mistake, by the way. That's something we should never do again. Unless it's the actual Godzilla we use. And, well, then, in 1999, Toho released a new Godzilla movie, starting off a new series called Godzilla 2000. And we think he's solo again, but no, there's a giant UFO flying around destroying the city too. And then Godzilla has to fight that. Well, he does, and he beats it, but then using Godzilla cells, creates a new monster called Orga. And Orgos tries to devour Godzilla, but Godzilla blows his head off, literally. And then in the next one, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, it's just Godzilla fighting an insect who lays smaller eggs, and the eggs are created by a black hole. And then Godzilla defeats it with his fire breath. And then they try to suck him into a black hole, but at the end we find out that doesn't work. But we never see that same version of Godzilla again, ever. So then that leads us into Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. It's a pretty big title. And that is Godzilla fighting not just King Ghidorah and Mothra, but also Baragon. Early in the film, though, he kills Baragon pretty easily. Incinerates him, if you will. And well, then I forget what he did next. Anyways, let's just get to the fight. Kills Mothra, which revives King Ghidorah, and then he has to fight King Ghidorah, and that's the final battle. And Godzilla gets his heart blown out, still wins, heart somehow still beating. And let's see, the next film, would have been Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Yeah, a new Mechagodzilla is reborn. This time pretty cool. Built with the bones of the original Godzilla. And him and Godzilla fight. Ends up in a tie. Mechagodzilla's big weapon, the Ultimate Zero, which stood a chance against Godzilla, gets destroyed. Godzilla walks away, Mechagodzilla is hurt, so Godzilla, I guess you could say, wins. Then in the next one, Tokyo SOS, he fights both Mechagodzilla and Mothra, and he kills Mothra, and just like in the original one, the two baby Mothras hatch, and spit web all over, silk web all over Godzilla, covering him. Mechagodzilla goes into the ocean with them. So I guess everybody's happy. And that would lead us into the biggest Godzilla film of all time, which was Godzilla Final Wars. And basically all the monsters, well, most of them at least, are freed, and they're like, we have to release Godzilla to fight him. And the American Godzilla is also in this. And basically what Godzilla does is, because of X, the supervillain of this film, releasing all the monsters, well, Godzilla has to kill them all. And he does. He kills Ebirah, Hedorah, and Zilla, which is the American Godzilla, Kamacuras, Kumonga, all the classic ones, Gigan, but no Megalon. And in the end, he has a challenge, a new monster. And, well, there were plenty of other monsters that he destroyed, but in the end, there's a new monster, Monster X. X's ship is destroyed, but, well, after Monster X and the upgraded Gigan are defeated. But that's when Monster X turns into an old villain, Ghidorah, but not King Ghidorah, Kaiser Ghidorah. Godzilla's most powerful enemy of all time. Destroys Godzilla, absolutely obliterates him, almost kills him. Ozaki, the main good guy of the film besides Godzilla, revives Godzilla, makes him invincible. He blows two heads off of King Ghidorah, Kaiser Ghidorah, sorry, and then he blows up Kaiser Ghidorah. And then Also, Godzilla's son is in this, and it shows him and his son walking off into the ocean, and Godzilla does one final roar, and then it just cuts to a screen with Godzilla. And that, YouTube, is the story of Godzilla. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna start doing movie reviews finally soon, really soon. So, goodbye for now. See you then.